Oh, hey, out there, Worlds Collide fans. It's another Worlds Collide Wednesday, the open world Final Fantasy VI Randomizer. I am one of your hosts tonight, the Schwantz27. I'm joined by Darkness in the commentary booth. Darkness, how's it hanging?
It's going good. This is going to be my first time checking out these flags, so it should be fun to see how this goes.
Yeah, so we have a ongoing set of monthly tournaments called our War of the Magi, and each new month there is an additional flag set that gets introduced. It's kind of themed around one of the bosses in the game. Obviously, by the title of it, the first three were done around the warring triad statues of Doom, Goddess, and Poltergeist. However, tonight we are doing Magi Masters Ultimatum, and as you see on Papa Shango's stream, no, go back up. Well, he scrolled it off the screen. But in order to unlock Kefka, we have to get to 6 characters, 9 espers, and we have to defeat the boss at the top of Fanatic's Tower. So it'll be interesting to see where our runners go, which means I think we need to get Strago in order to do this. Is that correct?
No, you can actually do that check and without doing Strago, because all you need to do is kill the boss at the top.
You can do that fantastic.
You can't get the check at the bottom without Strago, but you can do the rest without him. So we will not be on a 14 character required Strago at the very end, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
That would be a bit annoying.
So we're going to see some Stairmaster workouts tonight on stream, which is always appreciated. Darkness, you want to go into some of the other options that we've got for our runners here going head-to-head?
Yeah, so speaking of the War of the Magi, this is designed to be the more difficult stuff. So I believe scaling is at 2.5x for enemy levels, when it's unlike Ultros League where it's only 2x, so things will get tougher a little quicker. Another interesting thing with this flag set is, which is unique to this, is bosses are divided between World of Balance and World of Ruin. So if you are in the World of Balance, you'll only find World of Balance bosses, and if you're in the World of Ruin, you'll only find World of Ruin bosses. So it can definitely be sketchy if you start out in the World of Ruin, because that's generally where all the hard bosses are, but you will definitely get better rewards out of it if you choose to go there.
Yeah, better XP. More often, bosses in the World of Ruin will give you magic points, so if you're trying to learn some spells, a lot of World of Balance bosses don't give out magic points to teach you spells, so that's something to keep an eye on here.
Yep, and I think we saw the skip is random between a couple options, and we rolled 9 characters, 10 espers, or 20 checks. So probably won't see characters. You might see espers because that's not that far off, and then checks you might also see. 20 is pretty low generally, but yep.
Yeah, so Pearl Earring in the question in the chat, is Floating Continent considered World of Balance or World of Ruin? It is World of Balance because you have to activate the check in the World of Balance. Those checks that can be activated in either world take the properties of the boss at the end of it. So the Burning House, since Flame Eater is a World of Balance based boss, the Burning House check will have a World of Balance boss in at the end there. So good question. We also do get some starting items. So some of these options are only available in like our beta program that's available in our Discord. Shameless plug for the Discord. We get 1 experience egg to start with. That's the only one we're going to see in the entire seed, along with a couple of super balls, some handy dandy camping equipment, and a pair of earrings, as we're off and running here. So we'll see which one of what our characters are, and we do get Strago anyway.
Yep. So we will get the check whenever we wind up going there, which is nice. And
Slot Natural Magic Mog is a pretty good build. Capture Strago, not so much. So Slot is definitely a decent ability early on for its AoE and for its non-elemental attacks. So in this matchup tonight, we didn't really talk about it as much, the runners. NG Dave on the right-hand side, they are currently sitting at a level 90 magic, amount of experience for the War of the Magi ladder leaderboard. And believe it or not, they have not lost a match since October. They went undefeated for the entire month of November. So hopefully Papa Shango, who's actually a level 100 Doom level XP player, can knock off NG Dave and put a stop to this unstoppable streak here.
That we're supposed to be unbiased as commentators here.
That was unbiased, okay?
Okay.
As unbiased as I could get. Trying to build some tension and some storylining, you know, how I'm supposed to do it.
13 battle curse, I think, is what I saw there from the dude.
Okay, 13 is not so bad, and we do have some Dragoon boots there in the relic shop early on, along with more earrings and Atlas armlets. That is a sick shop there. That's Gao behind Umaro, peeking out of the Yeti cave there. So we already know where another character is potentially in our set here. And it looks like NG Dave is going to be doing the Lone Wolf check right away. So let's talk about what checks we have available to us here, Darkness, with the characters that we have.
Yeah, so Mog, we have Lone Wolf, which is nice because it's a free check. You don't have to do any fighting for it. And you'll also be able to peek what Kefka and Arch is. You'll see the reward here. And then Lone Wolf, there is Umaro, so we know what two characters are.
Wow.
So with Lone Wolf, you get to have a choice here. The one on the left is the only one that can be an Esper or character, and then the Lone Wolf itself will tell you what the other dead check option is.
High tier item. Ooh, that is a juicy item. NG Dave did pick the soldier, but if he wants to go get that Illumina, he just has to go to the Mog location in the World of Ruin in the Moogle Mines. So I would suspect that we should probably head over there, but let's pick up a warp stone first, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I think it's like 45 seconds one way, but yeah, if you don't have a warp stone, then it's another 45 seconds to walk back out, which would be a bit annoying. But speaking of walking back out, we're gonna be walking all the way down. Which is the one downside of doing this to start is, I mean, if we have to come back for Kefka and Arch, which we might, given that it's a character, we know there's a character behind you tomorrow. It would be a bit unfortunate to have to walk all the way down and all the way back up. Although on the right side, NG at least has that information of knowing that that's where Umaro is.
Knowledge is very powerful in this game as well. Atma weapon for sale in World of Ruin Tizen. The Tizen Thief is selling an Esper. It is 52k in the World of Balance. It is 40k in the World of Ruin, so a slight discount after Kefka destroyed the world. However, we do not have enough stuff to sell yet, so we're going to have to go for some more looting. And it looks like Papa Shango might be going for Gogo's check here at Zone Eater.
Yep, this is another, well, it's technically not a free check since you do have to enter a fight, but it is free in the sense that you don't have to kill anything to do it. You just have to get engulfed here, and then go through everyone's favorite trolls on the bridge, and then not get crushed. And once you've done all that, will get whatever the reward is. In terms of other reward options, we do have Mog's Moogle Defense, which is also in Narsh. Is a decent option to start, although it is risky since, I mean, there are grind fights you can take there, but you are locked into it, so if the grind fights are bad or the boss is bad, you'd lose a lot of time, so I have done it a couple times, but generally not...
Yeah, however, with it being a World of Balance check, right, we're going to get a World of Balance boss, so it's a little safer in this flag set. And then we have Strago's 3 checks. The Burning House, which we kind of mentioned earlier, will have a World of Balance boss at the end of the Burning House, so that becomes a more viable option with those grind fights in front of it. We do need to do the boss at the top of Fanatic's Tower anyway, and Strago unlocks the reward at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower, so that might be a good option to have. And we also have Ebbett's Rock, where we have to go and collect some coral and stuff.
Yep, and then that's it, at least for things that can get us characters. So we shall see. We know obviously where one character, or well, 2 characters are. So it might be Kefka and Arch gated, but might not. It is always can be annoying if there's character gated and you get there last. Oh well, it's not even an Esper here, so that's just a Minerva.
Yeah. And the thing about the Warring Triads, War of the Magi, excuse me, rather, flag sets are you get increased enemy levels, HP and MP, based on the number of checks that were done. So dead checks hurt even more. Normally, I would be pretty happy to see a Minerva early on in the seed, but bumping up that scaling for just a Minerva is kind of not ideal there. NGDA not taking the risk here in the Crusher room.
Yeah, I always say if I remember I died once. I got like a very nice trolls and then died to the crusher and then got a very not nice trolls and spent like 3 minutes trying to get back there. So it's like, okay, from now on, always saving. I don't care.
Oh God. So yeah, as far as tracking things go, you'll see the numbers in gold on the bottom. The gold number next to the one dragon was supposed to be for the Fanatics Tower boss. I have a feeling we're going to do that pretty easily now that we have Strago on the team, but just want to keep that as that'll be the counter of whether or not we've killed the Fanatics Tower boss versus dragons, what it's normally there for, right? So just an update. And yeah, Worlds Collide is based on a character gating concept where the things you could do in the game are based on what characters you've recruited. And so far we've done 2 checks and neither one of them have been characters. So every seed must be completed, or completable rather, with the logic that's in the game. So at some point we have to find characters. We do know where 2 of them are. We'll see if there are any more within some of the other checks we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, well, Shango is in Thamasa, so there is a chance that we go to Burning House here.
All right, so we start with an experience egg here, Darkness. Who do you put the experience egg on with this particular party?
God, I don't like the options for any of them, but I think I would put it on like Mog, I guess. I don't know, it's like...
Yeah. I like that idea because we know that there is a Dragoon boots for sale, and Mog can equip the best spears in the game. I think I would go pick up that Illumina and see who could use the Illumina and then throw the experience egg on that person.
Yep, and Shango will try to get some grinds in the Burning House, so I should give decent XP, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The other nice thing about this flag set is we do start with 2 Super Balls, and we also start with Go-Go in this particular seed. So that makes it really nice, so that we're going to be pretty much, I don't want to say guaranteed, but it's got pretty good odds that we can beat whatever boss is going to be at the end of this Burning House here.
Yeah, the one downside of Super Balls is they are not very good when dealing with multiple enemies. So if we ran into like Vanilla Flame Eater or something, that would be a bit problematic for the Super Balls. Although you could just try and get rid of the smaller guys and then Super Ball them. But this is definitely not a fight you want to take.
Yeah, this is not a great Casa del Fuego here.
Yeah.
That first fight is not so bad because at least 1 or maybe 2 of them are undead enemies, but that Master Pug, make him say, is not fun.
Yeah, he's even worse than the regular pugs. But yeah, NG decided to do some more shopping instead. Didn't see how many towns Shango went to, but I guess what are your general thoughts in terms of how much shopping you want to do, especially in this is supposed to be a bit more difficult, although you do get some nice starting items.
Yeah, I like Papa Shango's aggressiveness here. We have Super Balls. Let's just go see what the seed will give us, right? So I do like this play a lot. Jazer in the chat saying, in before failing math due to dueler martial fight. So what boss would you not like to see at the end of this Burning House is the question, Darkness. So this way we can commentate or curse it. You mentioned like multi-part bosses, right? So those would be pretty bad as well.
Yeah, I mean the one World of Balance boss that comes to mind as like the worst is Air Force. It's multi-part as well, which would be annoying, and it's one of the hardest bosses, especially early because it just packs a punch, and it can take you down very easily. And given how long Burning House is, trying to get through all these grind fights to have to go back and basically be at ground zero like starting all over again if you die to it would be not fun.
Yeah, yeah. Air Force and me have personal beef, so I'm okay with that answer.
I should also give out shout out to Jazer, since this is using his fork, as mentioned, the beta tools that are allowing us to do the starting items and dividing enemies or bosses by World of Balance and World of Ruin was done by him, so shouts to him.
Yeah, huge plays to our community, always trying to improve the game and to make things better. Hopefully we'll have some more, future updates coming soon, TM, but it's kind of difficult as this is, everybody's part-time gig, I guess, right?
Unpaid, yeah.
But we're a team of volunteers, so hopefully we can get more things going in that realm. And it's one of the Ultras.
First one.
All right, so this won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Welk would also be annoying. Yeah, I concur as well.
Yeah, especially when you have 7 flush. Well, he died to 1 7 flush and dead check. But at least we got our XP, so that's supposed to be
yeah. Like I mentioned, the problem is dead checks hurt twice as much in this flag, or 2.5 times as much in this flag set as it does for normal ones. All right, so it's not Burning House. It is not Lone Wolf. It's also not Zone Eater. So that leaves us with either Fanatic's Tower or Mool Defense or Ebbett's Rock before going back to get Umaro there at the Narsh fight.
Yeah, I think if I'm Shungo, I think I would peek, at the very least, peek Fanatics, see if that's a character. I think with NG, since he already knows where there is a character, it's less necessary to peek Fanatics. But if it was Fanatics gated, for instance, you might want to just go there as early as possible, since you have those Super Balls, and just try and Super Ball them down while they're still at low HP.
That is a pretty juicy Esper there. Ice 3 and Meteor and Pearl. Yeah, that's a good one to learn. Plus, we got that Thunder Shield out of the Burning House, right? So that's even more elemental damage. The more elemental types of spells you can do on your offensive magic characters, the better off you're going to be. This way you could exploit boss weaknesses, because in Final Fantasy VI, if you do the elemental weakness of damage to a boss, you multiply it by 2 automatically. So it's really nice.
So Fanatics is not a character, as Shango just went to check. He clearly listened to me, because I'm joking, but he went to do Ebbett's Rock and was like, I should probably check Fanatics just in case.
Yeah.
And which I think was, even though it's slightly suboptimal to have to go fly back over there and fly back here, I think it was smart decision to check that out.
Yeah, so neither one of our runners decided to do this, but would you have potentially done Fanatic's Tower first with a Super Ball plus Go-Go start, or are you just worried about the World of Ruin boss at the top there?
I think I would have peeked it. If it was a character, I probably would have done it. I think considering it, I would have peeked it. If it was a character, I would have done it. If not, then I probably would have just done a normal check, because it is a bit scary to start with a World of Ruin boss, because there are some nasty ones. Well, at the very least, it can't be any of the statue bosses, since we know those are going to be in Kefka's Tower. But you could still run into Magimaster or Doomgaze, but even then, they probably go.
At least those would be one part. I would be more worried about hiding in the Hide Knights or Inferno or one of those.
Or Tentacles or Stooges. Yeah, there's plenty of.
There's a lot of bad things there. All right, so we're getting our coral here from Papa Shango, and it looks like we got the right number, because we're just looking for the last room there.
Yep.
Remembering to put on the Thunder Shield before the fight, always a good idea. And this is why everybody hates Ebbett's Rock, folks.
Yeah, I think the most I've seen of times it took to get to the end room was 8 times after you've gotten all your Cordo. But yeah, I think that was that there was 6, so not the best. But he did get good luck on corals at least, so evened out a bit.
All right, so it looks like
Speaking of you.
Mog. Yeah, run away from that fight. Looks like Mog naturally learned Bull 3 as well, so I think we're going to go pretty magic heavy early on in this seed. We do know that there is an Illumina at Lone Wolf. However, none of these characters can naturally use it. So there is a 33% chance, I believe, right? Is the setting still the same as standard for equipability? I'm guessing so.
Yeah, I believe so. I would have to look at the flags. But...
Oh my goodness, who rolled this trash? That's an ice shield out of Evans Rock. Spoiler alert, yep. Chad, it's me. So yeah, we got Moogle Defense, we have Kefka at Narsh, which we know is a character, and that's it, right? Because we peaked Fanatics?
Yep. Yeah, so we're going to Narsh. The nice thing with Shango is he's going to be able to do Lone Wolf now and do the whole thing, doing Kefka and Narsh, and probably doing Moogle Defense as well, if they want to. Whereas NG will have to rewalk all the way up to Kefka and Narsh after having done Lone Wolf already, so that should be a bit of a time save there for Shango having to not do it twice. Shango's gonna do Moogle Defense first, it seems like. Interesting. I guess you peek it and reset if it's not, or he might just do it anyway. Yep, looks like he's just gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, so if this was a character, we would see something other than Mog there. We would see another character.
Yeah, because I guess if you're gonna do this third, you probably just want to go and save in between Kefka and Narsh and doing this anyway, so you have to walk out and walk back in anyway, so it's basically the same time save doing this first.
Alright, I think I lined up the audio with the visual now. It was lagging behind there for a second. I think it's in sync now. If it becomes out of sync, just yell at me, chat. It's a little hard to hear it sometimes. Alright, so, since we only have 3 characters, we get a surprise Moogle in our team. And what does Kupek have?
Jump Kupek.
Okay.
Jump.
I don't think you can equip the random Moogles that come in your party. So
yeah, I'm not sure. But...
they're probably not equipped with any decent. So Papa Shango does do the grind fight just to see what it is. All of these wolves will be the same formation. So good idea for him to just, hey, what is this? If it's like the Gigantos XP Pinata, then I'm going to take all of these, right?
Yep. Yeah, sometimes I'll just take out the last one just because, you know, that's the one where you have to dodge it anyway. Not that it's a hard one to dodge, but you can mess it up, so it's like, might as well take that one out. But, yeah. Still, I like the idea of going through and at least checking out and see what it is, because, yeah, there've definitely been times where it's been like a super nice fight, and then you can take out a few of them and get some levels that way. NG Dave, on the other hand, just going to go straight to do Kefka Narsh, which makes sense given that they knew this was Yumaro, so they will...
Oh my god, another dead check.
Jeez,
well, I guess the good news is that there can't be that many more of them on the seed, right?
Yeah, there's what, like, is it 27 espers or something like that? And well, obviously you start with 3 characters, so 11 characters, and so it's only like 40% of the checks are dead or something like that.
Yeah, so that's what, 27 plus 11 is 38.
It's 38.
There are 62 checks in the game.
62, yeah. So.
8 of them are dragons, so that is 54, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that? 12? No. 14, 16 dead checks, something like that?
Yeah.
Here's a good one to have with this party, with Ice 3. Thank you, game. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so it's, slightly under 40% are dead checks. Like, I don't know, 37, 38%, something like that.
Alright. So we get Umaro, and now we know where to get Gao.
Yep.
Because
So
Umaro only has one check available to them, and that's where you recruit them in the World of Ruin. And then we do need to, unfortunately, go through the Tritalk spot first before getting our gal.
mhm.
Tritalk is an Esper item only.
Yep. And then
with the way things are going this far, you already know. And then
we
Gal
definitely still
has
need Espers. Yep.
the Gal has Velt and Serpent Trench. So those are the two options there for Gal. So pretty linear seed thus far.
Mhm. Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, we know it's required Kefka and Narsh, so hopefully it's not required Velt given some of the fights we've run into on both sides. That'd be not fun, but we know it's either Velt or Serpent Trench.
Yeah, so here's Dave doing the Mogul Mines. So you could either open up the hole in the wall that way, or you can go through the back of the World of Ruin, Arvis's house. I don't really know which way is faster.
I timed it once, and this way is 1 second faster from the one time I ran each once, and this was 1 second faster. So
fair enough. I do know that if you want to do the pass a checkpoint quest objective, you have to go to the hole in the wall in the World of Balance. So
yeah.
If you ever see that in one of your flags, it's World of Balance secret entrance, and then World of Ruin secret entrance gets you to that Illumina that we know is there. The question is, can any of our characters use it?
We shall see. Looks like we're gonna check. Ooh, nice earrings there. Although, I think we found some earlier.
Yeah, there were earrings and Atlas armlets and Dragoon boots in the Narsh relic shop, so not too far off the beaten path.
Maneater isn't the worst weapon in the world, and Tonic is the worst healing item in the world. So,
yeah, Maneater's a decent weapon for Umaro if we want to keep him in the party.
Mhm.
Does twice as much damage to human targets, and there is a lot of the final boss. Tiers 2, 3, and 4 basically have most of the parts as human targets.
Yep, and presumably Shango will join NG Dave here in World of Ruin just in a second. As this will be one nice thing about Tritalk is it will also be our be able to take down our first dragon, so that should be a few levels for us. Should mention again with the tracker, the one required is not dragons, it is Fanatic's Tower, which is we have to do the boss there, but we will get our first dragon shortly.
Okay, so Mog, Umaro, and Golgo can all use the Illumina. I think putting it on Mog is probably the smart idea there, especially since he's had the experience egg. So.
Yep.
A fun fact about Umaro is that if you put the Illumina on Umaro, it actually doesn't do the crit because Umaro doesn't get any MP. So don't use the Illumina or the Ragnarok on Umaro. I mean, you can actually, but you're just throwing damage away.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. I don't know why I've seen people do it, but you have to ask them. But
I mean, if you've got nobody else to use it, then it's fine.
Yeah, I guess true. Yeah, you are losing out damage compared to other options as we get a Yeti chest bump victory.
There you go. Chest bump, best bump, and Red Dragon goes down. We would earn 50 magic points from that fight, so we're going to learn a lot of spells, and we got a high tier item drop, and it is more Merton protection.
Yep. To open up our own shield emporium at this point with all the shields we're getting. Got one of each. I think Dave does not have one of each because he has not done
Burning House.
Burning House.
Yeah.
So, but Shango will. It shows how much time walking up and down Narsh takes, because even with Shango having done Burning House, they're basically neck and neck, and they've all done, I think, the same checks outside of that.
Yeah, and Abbott's Rock.
Oh, right, yeah, Abbott's Rock, too.
Oh, here we go. This is going to be a fun one.
Yep. This is the downside of coming to World of Ruin, because you can run into things like Magimaster.
Yeah, so how do we do this fight here, Darkness? What are we going to do here with Magimaster?
I guess we're gonna spam Meteor, or just spam. Well, we think we do the Super Balls, so they rolled semi-decently. Not the worst rolls ever. But yeah, unfortunately, Yumara means we can't just mimic Super Balls forever, so we're gonna have to swap over to Meteor casts. Nope.
And
yeah,
eating things like the boss.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, this seed is Magimaster gated, so it fits the theme appropriately. Could also use Slot here if you didn't have Meteor, because Slot does have some non-elemental attacks within it, and we are out of MP, so... So the thing with the Illumina is that even though the Illumina will always hit, Magimaster has super high physical defense, so it's not going to do much damage, and if you so happen to get a Pearl proc, there is only a 1 in 8 chance that it'll actually do something.
Yeah, there's also 1 in 8 chance it'll heal him, which would be very bad.
Yeah,
So, probably not worth it.
Strago's chilling. We could have put Umaro to sleep and then done the
True.
the Super Ball over and over again. That would have been hilarious. Oh boy. Yeah, so with that Rage Ring and the Minerva and the Flame Shield and the Thunder Shield, we do have full Murder protection, but we don't really have an answer for how to kill Magimaster quickly, because Meteor is not a very powerful spell, as we're seeing here.
Yep. And the only nice thing about Meteor is that it ignores the split target damage reduction, but since we're doing with one target, that's kind of irrelevant. So it goes pretty bad damage, single target.
Nicely done by NG Dave. So we do get one of the only non-dead checks that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you have to fight hard bosses to get get some actual stuff.
Smart here to save is a little bit of a walk, but you kind of need to heal everyone up, and definitely don't want to have to redo that fight. That would take forever.
No.
So. Berserk. That would have been nice.
This game has jokes.
Yep.
This game has jokes.
Definitely have had that happen before.
Yeah, Dave just staring at that Berserk on that Esper for a little while longer. You're welcome, Dave.
On the bright side, whatever's waiting in Nuar's cave can't be Magimaster anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Although, the world there are plenty of bad bosses out here.
Yeah.
We do see Dave not bothering for the monster in a box here. What would you do in this situation? Would you go digging for, an offering or maybe a Gigantos, or would you just keep going?
Nah, I mean, we don't really have anything for an offer to put the offering with, because we haven't found an Atma or a VK, and I mean, you don't want to pair an offering with an Illumina. So yeah, I mean, we did also see Shango take the one in Narsh, the healing Beginner's House.
Yeah.
Whereas NG Dave did not take that.
We do know from one of our runners, I think NG Dave, we do have Atma weapons for sale in World of Ruin.
Oh right, yeah, we saw Atma's weapons for sale. Yes, true. I forgot about that.
So, all right, well, these are pugs anyway, so NG Dave's not missing out on anything. We have Rexol, who is way easier than he is in the vanilla game because we have removed the Zinger script from his battle, so we don't have to kill one of our own characters to kill this boss here.
Don't tell Yumara that, because he's gonna be beat down these whatchamacallit, I forget what the tiny guys are called.
Soul Savers.
Oh, Soul Savers, yep.
Yeah.
I guess deal with that fun, like, 20-second death and reanimation animation. Very fun. Always love it.
Yeah, this is another fight that is kind of a slog because of the high magic defense of Rexall. But Ice 3 will do the trick. And we now have our Wild Child.
Yeah, so I guess if knowing that, we're presuming, yeah, I guess knowing, but NG Dave doesn't know for certain, but we're presuming on his end that Gao is either going to be on Velt or...
Oh my. Gao is my favorite character in the randomizer, but that is a big woof on that Gao there.
Yeah, I guess which Gao check would you do? Would you do the guaranteed Velt, or would you do Serpent Trench, hoping that you don't have to deal with all the Velt's annoyances, since we've had to deal with a few pretty annoying enemies? Or
yeah, if it were me, I would have reduced my party down to 3 when I was able to right there, and just did the Velt check.
Ooh,
so
looks like, well, we have to do this anyway, so we're gonna see if the next Tower play, I guess.
Yeah. Well, this might be a peek to see, or did Dave already see this?
Oh no, yeah, it was just Shanga that peaked, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, Dave doesn't know that this is not a character, so... Yeti is also very good in Fnatic's Tower because, as you know, the gimmick with Fnatic's Tower is magic only, but Umaro can kind of circumvent that by his Berserk script.
And we do have Berserk ourselves, although Berserk, when we cast on ourselves, can miss if we have Magic Evade, but could use that too on our log to get him swinging Lumina as well.
Papa Shango taking out Umaro and putting in our sketch morph Gao. Although, to be fair, we do have really good spells at the ready, on our Espers, so I can understand doing that. Gao has very high stats.
Yep. Yeah, we don't really care about the abilities, well, except, I mean, sketch will be useful against Final Kefka, but that's a long way out.
Alright, so yeah, 3 characters can use the Atma weapon here, so it looks like Papa Shango is going to go ahead and buy one of those. Damn it, I missed what was at the top of Fnatic's Tower.
No, yeah, I missed it as well, unfortunately.
Well, now we have to rely on chat, and you know what happens when you rely on chat. You'll get ridiculous answers.
Well, there is a Cheddar Nook at the top, so not the worst boss, definitely. But
yeah, we don't have Fire 3, though. We have Ice 3, which is not as potent, and we have Lightning 3, which is not going to work. Papa Shango here doing the Velt. NG Dave using the runaway technique to buffer having Umaro attack while the girl form of the boss is up. We have Pearl. Okay, that's fine.
Yep, Pearl will work. Nope. Well, this is one of the downsides of doing the monster boxes. You run into pugs when you're going out to the Velt. So, Shango answering that question of deciding to choose Velt over Serpent Trench. I think I would just choose Serpent Trench first, personally. I mean, we've seen a few bad encounters, and we saw the Master Pugs, obviously we just saw the Pugs there. Telstar's annoying. I'd rather just dilute. I'd rather hope it's Serpent Trench and then also just dilute the bad encounters by just taking more of them on.
Alright, so it was an Atma weapon at the top of Fnatic's Tower, so we got lightsabers all over the place. A Yeti Jetty. Or a Jedi Yeti, which is my favorite weapon to use for Umaro.
And I believe to not take the dragon. They're going to probably take it on the way down, I assume.
Oh, all right. Well, sir, it
So it
looks
is
like
Serpent
your hypothesis was correct here. Although this is definitely going to be an Esper there for Papa Shango.
Yep.
And they did to Zen Thief, so they're up to 4 Espers now. And
So, and I would definitely not do Velt first if I'm NG Dave now, because Vanilla Pearl Dragon. Pearl Dragon can show up on the Velt for whatever good reason. Or White Dragon. Why?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so in Final Fantasy VI, if it shows up on the Rage list, then it can show up on the Velt. So SR Behemoth and White Dragon show up in the Rage list, so therefore they can show up on the Velt. That's kind of how it goes. So the question as to why they show up on the Rage list is a head scratcher, but that's sort of how it works.
What is the White Dragon Rage even?
Pearl.
Oh, it is Pearl? Okay. Makes sense.
Yes. So it's pretty effective against like certain bosses or certain, formations. Like, for instance, if you get an early Chatternook fight, right, then or an early Doomgaze fight, that's a good rage to have.
Well, we're gonna take a random Da Vinci brush, I guess.
Why not?
Yes. Also, fun fact about the tower: when you open the doors, you're not gonna be able to see this, unfortunately. But if you back away with the door open, you'll notice that you can actually see the cloud through the door, but only on the upper half of the door. The lower half is normal, but the upper half you'll see the clouds through them. So, random bug fact of the day.
Nice. You've been reading all too much. You have too much knowledge. Alright, so this will be a Magicite here for NG Dave. Hefe counters my theory with if they show up on the Rage list, it's because they show up on the Velt. And we have a sort of feedback loop there. And that was Calmness Protection at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower. So getting rewarded for taking the stairs.
Yep. See, NG Dave looks like they're gonna do Shargo's checks. Makes sense. They don't know that it's necessarily gonna be Gallon. I mean, these are some decently fast checks, and I mean, his checks are both pretty annoying. So I understand why I would avoid this, but I think. Oh, we got a BK from somewhere.
Yeah, that was the drop from the dragon. So Go-Go can use the Valiant Knife. So we're getting a wild ragtag team here.
Yeah. We got plenty of weapons at least.
Yeah. Oh, and we got a Pearl Lance from the dragon drop too. So if somebody else can use that Illumina, we could put the Pearl Lance Dragoon Boots on Mog, and that's another quasi build there too.
Nice fiver there from the coral chest. Always love to see those.
Yep. Yeah, I can. Yeah, the thing is, right? Like, Gal's checks don't have bosses at the end of them, so. Whereas Strago's checks all have World of Ruin bosses. Excuse me, except for the Burning House, right? So. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where you were already in the World of Ruin when you did Narsh. Maybe stay in the World of Ruin. I don't particularly ascribe to location-based decision-making. I would go with what checks are faster, and Velt and Serpent Trench are usually faster than these two.
Yeah, I mean, Ebbett's Rock isn't that bad. Ooh, Terra, that's nice.
There's our Illumina, Atma Weapon, etc. user.
Yep. And Sword Tech, Natural Magic.
Alright, so now the seed is opened up a bit finally. So with Terra, we have access to 5 different checks. We have the...
Ooh, Genji Gloves for sale as well.
So we can do our double Atma Genji Glove if we can somehow raise enough funding to do all of that. So we can go back to Narsh if we really, really want to for like the 5th time this seed. And do the Welk spot. We also have Leet River, which I think it's a bit late in the seed to go down that route. We also have Cave to the Sealed Gate, which has got a lot of chests in there, but at this point, we don't really need a lot of loot, right? But it does not have a boss at the end of it. And then we have Mobiles, which will have Funbaba 3 and then some other World of Ruin boss, or Zozo Tower, which will have some World of Balance boss.
Yeah, it's what are your thoughts on Mobiles, knowing that it's a World of Ruin boss and you're only going to be able to fight it with 2 characters, unless you have absurdly good damage output.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, at this point, right, Papa Shango needs just Espers. So I would go peek and see what it is, and if it's a character, then I'm definitely not going to do it.
Yeah. Shango will choose to take the treasure room. I mean, it is definitely hard to pass up on this room. Ooh, Cat Hood. That will help funding.
Automatically rewarded.
Although we do know that there is another Atma at the top of Fnax, so if they do that first, they won't need to buy a second. But
and a Valiant,
you know, third's always nice too.
Ooh, that's a good Esper there. Besides being Calmness Protection, it also gives us Mute, which is useful against Tier 2. So, really nice pickup there for NG Dave. Although, since it's a requirement of the seed, I guarantee you Papa Shango's going to do that at some point.
Dave going with my idea of saying hell no to the Velt and going to do Serpent Trench instead. Which, as we know,
rewarded with Terra.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if they then do the Velt after the Serpent Trench. Usually don't see that, but...
Yeah, I think I would not. I mean, you could, but I think with how many checks Terra has, I think you're probably just better off doing something else. But I mean, I guess if you have nothing better to do, I mean, it's probably better than doing a thing that you know is a character or whatever. But
let's take a look at some trackers here. So we did mention that the Kefka Tower skip is 9 characters or 10 Espers or 20 checks in this individual seed. So we're at 12 checks from NG Dave, and what are we at for Papa Shango? 13, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like
probably be 14.
Probably gonna be checks. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. With Espers, obviously we have 6 characters, or well, NG's about to have 6 characters, so we're gonna have unlocked before we have any chance of getting a 10th Esper. So I don't think it would fish for the 10th Esper. I mean, maybe if it's like, now maybe if you're at like 18 checks, you do like 2 quick checks instead of going down mid lane just in case one of them is an Esper. Then you don't have to do the second check or something. But
are there Espers in the auction house? That is a great question. Let's answer that. Let's see. 1 Esper max at the auction house.
Oh, Shango going back to buy another Genji glove or something? Or
maybe he needs... Yeah, no.
Oh, he did buy it.
Genji glove.
Okay, that's what happened. Forgot to buy it in all the selling, I guess.
Yeah. So, Hefe does point out in the chat that we might actually need to get another character in order to have enough checks to get to the 9 Espers in the first place, right? Because one of Terra's checks has to be a character. So that only leaves 4 of them at most that can be Espers. So, yeah, good point, Hefe. Yeah, none of the dragons give characters. None of the things in Kefka's Tower give characters. Oh god,
yeah,
that Kieran is pretty bad. Although it does have stop, and we know we have to fight poltergeists, so maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'll always take stop in a thing where I know I have to fight poltergeists. Unfortunately, shuffled statues means you're gonna have to give everyone stop or pray for good luck. But
oh, Quick was on that Esper too. Okay, I missed that.
Ooh, Quick, oh, yeah.
I'll admit I have a bit of a blind spot with Quick that I don't use it as often as I should. So Shame on me.
No, NG Dave also luckily going to check the loser, the guy that thinks we think he's a loser, but instead has Genji gloves, so we're obligated to buy those from him. Circlets would be nice. I'm gonna buy one. They are a bit expensive, but this late in the seed, they're a nice pickup when you don't really have anything else you'd rather spend money on.
Meanwhile, we have Niles and Frazier, everybody's favorite pair of Final Fantasy VI brothers here. And this is not a character either, because we saw the Narsh guard peeking out from behind the Welk spot.
Yep, so hopefully it'll be Nesper, not the 70th dead check at this point.
Yeah. So that means we're down to Elite River, Zozo Tower, and Mobliz for our Nuts character. And there is one of those checks that is way better than the rest.
What is Shango's form of calmness protection? I think at this point I would do Zozo. As much as I don't like World of Balance Zozo, with knowing that it's, it can only be a World of Balance enemy, that takes a lot of this thing out of that check. So I think that's probably where I would go first, and it looks like Shango agrees, and will go there himself.
Yeah. So for those of you joining a little bit late, this is the world premiere, I guess, of the War of the War of the Magi, Magi-Masters Ultimatum flags. So bosses are shuffled by world. So World of Balance bosses in World of Balance, World of Ruin bosses in World of Ruin. We did start with some goodies in order to help us get off the ground here. And it's been a very linear seed. Kefka at Narsh was Umaro, which led to Gao at Umaro's Cave, which led to Terra at the end of the Serpent Trench, and now we have just 3 checks left for our next character. And this is going to be one of them that we'll see for Papa Shango here.
Yeah, but the one thing, this isn't that slow a check. The one downside of this check is there's no save point before the boss you fight. So if you run something nasty like in my Moogle Cup tournament race, I came here and got Doomgazed, got mathed. That was a nice minute and a half walking up here wasted.
That's brutal.
So yeah,
this check is significantly better in some flag sets where you have Y NPC set to remove, because you can just get rid of the Dataluma sprite and just go get the reward in the room afterwards. So its usefulness as a check just skyrockets if you have the Y remove or Y X zone vanish setting on. Still need a warp stone to get out of it, but all right, that is Ultros
you could
number
walk
2.
down, but it would take a while. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, where are you going, Dave? Going back to Narsh.
Welk. Yep. Makes sense. Following Shango's path. Yeah.
Yeah, so even though Papa Shango got to his 6th character later, right? Him doing those other Strago checks first helped move him along a little bit here.
Yep. I think at this point, Shango's probably gonna do good old World of Ruin, do Mobliz. We'll see if it's elite gated, which as speaking of the Moogle Cup tournament race I had where I got mathed by Doomgaze, that was also elite gated, so that was a very fun seed for me.
How are you still a part of the community if that was one of your...
Well, I was no longer part of the tournament after that. that got me eliminated. But
fair enough. All right, chat. So we've got a 2v1 World of Ruin boss at Mobliz or Elite River. Which would you prefer? That's hard. Elite River is my least favorite check in the whole entire game. I know that a lot of people don't mind it, but I despise it. So
Shunk.
let's see. Hey,
He's a
there's
Setzer.
Setzer. Okay, so Setzer's interesting in that he also doesn't have a lot of checks that he unlocks. It is just the Colon Jinin, Daryl's Tomb, and Search the Skies, with the Search the Skies Doomgaze spot being just an Esper item only. So again, there's only 2 of his checks that can possibly reward a character.
Yeah, and well, the nice thing is now that, considering we only need Espers at this point, the Search the Skies we know can't be a character, so that's probably what I'd do first, and then that'll get us at 8, and I think Shango has not done Fanatics yet, so...
That's correct, yeah, and I just marked off Dave as having done Fanatics. I forgot about that.
Yeah, considering he has to do that anyway with the unlock, the fighting the boss at the top is required, and we know Fanatics Tower is guaranteed to be a character or Esper, and we know it's an Esper, so Shango will probably do that for his 9th. It's vanilla, okay.
Well. Funny's being ye here. That's a Tool Setzer. Yeah, I don't know if Setzer's the best role model to be taking care of the orphans.
Teaching him how to gamble, yep.
Alright,
Dave couldn't do Moogle defense, which they had.
Yeah, this makes sense. They saw that it wasn't a character. Unfortunately for them, this is not an Esper either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so unfortunately it's gonna give Shango increase his lead a little bit. So he will get his 7th character, which he doesn't need, but once he's done with this, we'll get some checks to be able to get his 8th and then 9th and final Esper.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is, right, unless both Leet River and Auction House give Espers, then you need to get this other character.
Yeah.
We're just out.
I guess. I assume with Shango is probably going to check Cole and Jin as well, because if that's an Esper, then that would be your 10 for Skip, since it's only 10 Espers for Skip at low rolled, and definitely not getting character Skip, because that would be 9. I'm not sure how close they are to check Skip, which is 20.
Yeah, they're at 15 now, and Dave is at 16. No, Dave is also at 15.
Yeah, and well, Shango still has to do guaranteed 3 more with Fanatics Tower, so yeah, so even if it's not, then Cole and Jin and Search the Skies plus Fanatics Tower will be Skip for him, even if he only hits 9 Espers.
Alright, so yes, that is check number 16 for Dave, and this will be number 16 for Papa Shango as soon as Terra decides to stop dying.
Yep. Well, this is definitely not one of the harder bosses. This is one of the tankier bosses, so a bit slow, but yeah, I think only like Doomgaze is tankier. It's like top 2 or 3 in terms of tankiest. But yeah, it goes down eventually, and we'll get our original party back in. Bit late for Setzer, and I don't think we have any useful tools.
No. Yeah, so the unlock is the standard 6-character 9 Esper plus the Fanatics Tower boss. The skip for this particular individual seed, we rolled it at 9 characters or 10 Espers or 20 checks. And given the fact that you have to do, or that our runners are able to do all of Fanatics Tower, rather, right, that gives us 3 checks just in that one spot.
Yep. Ooh, speaking of tanky bosses, we got Guardian guarding the skies. Sanju Dave going, following Shango's path up Zozo World of Balance. Again, this is probably what I would do. Unfortunately, this is not the optimal play, as we know.
Yep.
He's
gonna get an Esper, though, at least.
True.
Needs that. Papa Shango going for the Force Armor Steel. It's one of the steals you can get out of Guardian. Got the rare steal, actually, which is the ribbon, which is not actually what you want in this fight. You want the armor. Bit unlucky for them, but with access to Bolt 3, this is not going to be a problem.
Yep, he is weak to Bolt, as I think basically all the machines in this game are. So we got plenty of bolts to hit him in the face with. So he will go down eventually. And he can get nasty late, but it takes a while for him to unleash his most annoying attacks.
Alright, once the Zozo music's done, I'll switch it over to Papa Shango. I know the chat loves a good Zozo bop. Especially since the Ultros 2 music stops, or keeps the background music going. Alright, Guardian in the Sky is down. So we'll see what this reward is. Remember, this is Esper item only, and it is a shiny stone. Very nice.
Presumably off to do Fanatics, and then as probably just do Opera Dragon.
No, he's at 17 right now, so he'll be...
Oh, that is 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be unlocked plus skip for Papa Shango.
Okay. Yes. Alright, yeah, because he was in the middle of... Right, yeah, he was at 15 while he was doing, Moblins, so he was at 16 after Moblins. Yep.
Yeah, so he's going to prepare his party for a magic-only run in the tower. And it looks like he forgot something on one of his bench characters.
Yeah, probably an Esper or something that was equipped or something, I don't know. Or, oh, maybe getting the snow muffler off Yamara. Might be that. Because that's definitely nice to have his armor.
This is a PG-13 stream. Oh no, NG Dave. Don't spend the money.
No, this is not where you need to go. Unfortunately. I mean, I get it, because we know that, like, there's a character, but one of those two, and we don't need a character, but still, it's gonna take a little while, and it's, as we know, a dead check.
Yeah.
Because we run into a billion of those.
Yeah, Dave's options are Mobliz, Leet River, and Burning House, right? They're not... That's not a fun set of choices there. So yeah, we know that this is not... We know that this is a dead check because Papa Shango did it earlier in his route.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Shango climbing up all the stairs, getting a bit too antsy, going into the second door, looking for a dragon that is not there.
So let me ask you a question, Darkness, and I'll open it up to chat too. If I were to say modify Fanatic's Tower to have just the bottom of the tower, then the dragon room in one level up, and then the treasure room the next level up after that. So this way you only did 3 stories of walking instead of 5, 6. Yeah, you'd lose out on some treasure, but it'd be a lot less walking. Would that make Fanatic's Tower better?
I think it would make it a bit on the OP side, given that it's a guaranteed check. I think you'd have to make it no longer guaranteed to balance that out a bit, but it would definitely make it a lot nicer.
Yeah. I think we've also had, like, some members of the community suggest things like install a crane a la Zozo and just have it take the same amount of time to walk down, but make us not actually walk up or down it.
Yeah, that is a fun idea. Just to, get a drink, maybe make a sandwich or something, do whatever you can do in, like, I think it's like 55 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Go one way, so you got some time.
Yeah, I've heard, like, a lot of runners actually enjoy, the mindlessness of it, because it's just, you get into, like, a rhythm of, rotating your thumb around the D-pad to go up the tower and then down the tower. I don't know. It's therapeutic sometimes.
Yeah, it is fun. I posted a video in the Worlds Collide Discord of me doing Phoenix Tower while poisoned. I managed to do it without messing up, which was fun. But the
Yikes.
poison does make it a bit tougher.
So the real question is, can you do a Fanatics Tower run with B dash without bonking? Now that
Yeah, it's
that would be very impressive.
B dash while poisoned. That's the ultimate challenge.
The true speed run of the game. Yeah, so the cutting out of several layers of Fanatics Tower would definitely not work if you're playing like Archipelago Treasure Shuffle mode. But
Yeah, you have to
for most other standard races, it would be way better.
You have to make those like dead checks or whatever. Or
well, you just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't. You would leave the map as is.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. Force armor from the random.
Okay. Didn't get one from Guardian, but got one from the random chest in Burning House.
Yep. And we see our Ultros 1. Meanwhile, on Shungo's side, we got some pearls to the face going down. Fochi for NG Dave, all that for a Thunder Shield.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, so I think at this point, all he has left is Leet and Moblez, so
Yep.
I think we're probably going to have to do Moblez. It is a different world, but it is right nearby. Although,
okay. Oh,
he never did Felt. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. This is interesting. How did he get... Is the tracker right? Yeah, the tracker is right. Okay. We must have miscounted. So there might be a way for him to for Dave to get to 9 without getting Setzer.
Well, it have to either be Leet or the auction house. I mean, that's all that's left, right?
Correct. We know that this is an Esper, so he'll be up to 8.
Yep. And we know obviously that Moblez is a character, so. Oh well, that's an easy fight at least.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Late game Velt.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta love it. Now, does he have dried meat? Okay, there we go.
Yep.
That's the worst feeling is doing it and go, oh my god. No dried meat. Alright. One more shiny stone for both of our runners to be in go mode. The question is, who's going to get to it first?
Well, I think Shunga's walking his way down to it, so we shouldn't be that long for him.
Okay, yeah, he's already there. I was going to say, beeline over to the auction house. But there it is. That'll be go mode plus skip for Papa Shango. So, considering that we know the statues are shuffled, do you make any scouting trips into Kefka's Tower, or do you just go and just see what happens?
I think given the power, and we have so many sticks, I think we're probably fine to not have to do it. I think I probably just set up the characters. I think most of them can take on the statues by themselves. I don't think we need to split up our party or do any peaks. I mean, you could, but I don't know how many. I don't know how long it would take to peak two of the. To just go in and peak it and then reset out and peak it again or whatever. Seems like it would be a pain.
All right, Dave leaving Setzer for now. All right, what's the plan here?
It's gotta be auction house, I would think. Yep.
So, while we're waiting for Papa Shango to get ready, I'll explain a little bit about how the auction house in the World of Ruin works. There are 4 items that you could buy in the auction house: $50,000 item, a $20,000 Esper. Oh, there are no Espers in the auction house either. Oh,
I, I think I just would walk back and do Mopos. We know Cesar has fast checks. If it was someone like, I don't know, someone with like awful checks like Strago, which we already have him, but like, I don't know who's left that has
Edgar.
awful checks. Yeah, Edgar, I guess. But
Edgar would be terrible if it's not at Throne.
yeah, yep, he's gonna go back to Mopos.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting Setzer is faster than doing Leet River, right?
Yeah.
That's, I think, what he's weighing in his mind. Or Setzer plus another check is better than Leet River, and Papa Shango is frozen, so Dave's got some time to catch up here.
Yeah, I think if you had a crystal ball and said Leet is guaranteed Esper, maybe I might do Leet, but considering it could just be dead, or also could be a character, like, that would be the, like, worst case scenario. At least Setzer, it's like, it's gonna be fast checks, 2 fast checks, but one of them is probably gonna be an Esper. And if it's not, then hopefully it's a character that also has fast checks.
Alright, looks like Papa Shango's moving his team around, now knowing that Doom is over on the left side.
Yep.
I think I would put Yeti in the spot with Doom, even though he won't be effective the second half of the fight. At least he won't trigger Love Token against Goddess, or proc some counters in the case of Poltergeist.
Yeah, and also we do have lots of sticks, so he can get the image status off potentially. Once we get into the second phase, so.
Alright, so Papa Shango is going to see what the other bosses know they're not. Stop faking us out here.
They're equip. Yeah, they're gonna move their equipment around and get them onto. Yeah, that will be definitely very helpful for either boss we run into. And it is a spicy chicken, and I'm gonna reset. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. As it makes sense.
Now we know that Goddess is in the middle. We don't know what boss Guardian spot has. We know that it can't be Magimaster, because believe it or not, the Magimaster Ultimatum Seed was Magimaster gated at Tritalk. But we still have a lot of awfulness left to potentially occupy that spot.
Yeah, I think this is smart by Shango. You already basically had to reset to when you got frozen, because you could have waited out, but it would have taken just as much time probably. And since you already had to reset once, might as well just peek the second one and get the rest of your information.
All right, so here's an interesting thing. His Mog is level 45. Okay, he's putting Mog over on that side. Got it. No potential of getting mathed there by Shango.
Doomgaze, with how tanky he is, and only having 2 characters, can still just regular Doom you.
Yes.
Which would be not fun.
So, there was a seed that I played recently. I don't remember what it was. I think it was one of the Chaos ones or something like that. But basically, the Moogle Charm was not equipable by your whole team.
Oof.
And bosses could show up in the random encounter pool. And I only had 2 characters that could wear the Moogle Charm. So I had to take one of them off for one lane of Phonetics, one lane of Kefka's Tower. And in between the switches and the Guardian spot, I ran into Doomgaze twice for that one party. It was awful. Straight up awful.
Yeah, that's a fun encounter.
All right, well, this is also kind of a problem.
Yeah, speaking of fun encounters, not as awful as Doomgaze, but it is still pretty awful with 2 characters. But
Yeah, we're not in danger of gaming over or anything like that, but this is just going to take a while.
Yep. Especially with Gogo already seized and Terra now slowed, and potentially going to get seized right about now. Yep. And now we wait. Meanwhile, NG Dave was taking down the Guardian in the sky. Well, oof, that was a big shrapnel to the face.
Well, while we are waiting for our
grabby
grabby pasta to give back our characters, go and check out our Discord. It is a fun place where some really cool people hang out. And you can learn how to play this game if you're enjoying what you're watching. So ff6worldscollide.com/Discord is the link to join us.
I've seen the quarter cast. The bottom left is weak to instant death, which means it's also weak to fractional damage like quarter, so using that to his advantage there to do some damage. With Go-Go down now, this is getting... Well, we got 2 of the tentacles down, so hopefully it won't get grabbed again, but...
Yeah, that one in the bottom right, we can do instant death to, although I don't think we have that, unfortunately.
Yeah, we did have quarter, though, so Go-Go was using that. Oof, and that one is absorbs ice, as
Yep.
Shango found out there. Don't want to be using ice here on that.
Yeah, that's the one that's weak to fire and absorbs ice, and then the one on the bottom right is the opposite. So, and then the ones in the top, I never remember what they're weak to, so it's trial and error.
Yeah, I think one of them absorbs lightning. I don't know what the other one absorbs. Yeah, I have no clue what their weaknesses are.
All of the tentacles, because they are pasta, as a matter of fact,
thankfully
will absorb water. So that's an interesting thing. If you have someone with drought, don't use a water ski. It won't work.
I thought one of them, because I have done that before. And I thought one of them does not absorb it. But yes, 3 of them. I'm pretty sure at least 3 of them. And we're seized again. So, NG taking on the Opera Dragon. I assume they're at 19 checks, probably doing this for a skip. And it's slightly slower than Colungian, but it's more levels, so it makes sense to just take this on. Stunner, I'm pretty sure I will just take both of them out, so it doesn't matter. I think one of them can be stopped, but I'm not sure which one. But meanwhile, on NG side, we got a Storm Dargon.
Yeah, so NG Dave is definitely over the 20 checks. I think this is just to learn spells or to get some levels. Oh, and here's Goddess, and we didn't heal before this fight.
Oof. Did we not have sleeping bags or something? Because we revived Go-Go.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, Sword Tech 5 basically means Terra is invincible.
But not Go-Go.
Not Go-Go, no.
So he will go back down again. Alright. Another Minerva, so it's nice damage mitigation, and although I guess we have Minervas on everybody.
Minervas out the wazoo. Yeah, so after you get to 20 checks, which is what we needed for skip, because the maximum level scaling is 50, doing all these extra checks don't actually make any of the bosses tougher. It just makes your team stronger. So it's good to do, you know, in the case of NG Dave, to get an extra spell or two learned, or to get some extra levels on your characters, because remember, you do have to fight the statue bosses, and as we've seen from Papa Shango, they can be a problem.
Yep. Yeah, NG Dave only going to be about like 1 lane behind, although Shango did have the opportunity to plan his party accordingly, where NG is going to be going in blind, and those tentacles and statue fights are definitely very difficult, so hopefully, for the sake of close race, we're going to get some decent decision making here from NG Dave. Looks like it's pretty similar to what Shango has in terms of teams, so I like it. But he's still thinking about it. Nope, he's gonna go with it. So we're off into whichever one he decides to do first.
All right, it's been enough turns. Goddess is like, screw you guys. So
yes, about that nearly invincible. We're no longer nearly invincible because we're about to die in 14 ticks. So this could be problematic if we don't kill Goddess fairly soon.
Goddess is very high magical defense.
Yep.
It might be worth swinging the Atma weapon here. Or breaking one of the shields.
And you take it on Doom first?
Oh no.
Landside, you.
Oh no.
This better kill.
Alright, well, this is it. If this spell doesn't kill, then Goddess wins the fight. Oh
It
my
does.
goodness, Papa Shango clutch. Oh my goodness. Never any doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yep. That is how you kill Goddess. With only a Terra.
Alright, well, we do have Golem. Definitely want to have that equipped. Ooh, yeah, just 4 sleeping bags left. So remember, we did start with 25 of them, and we have been camping out a lot this seed, chat. So unfortunately, that is why we did not heal before that Goddess fight. And now we're in phase 2 of Doom over here for NG Dave, which means he has Reflect. Meteor is not reflectable, thankfully. However, he also gets the image status, and Gogo and Umaro are having trouble actually connecting with that. So, still not out of the weeds here for this Doom fight.
Yep. Meanwhile, Shango taking on Pulte, so we're gonna save Doom for last.
Do we have stop? We do.
No, we do have stop. Yep. We're going to quick stop and something else, presumably. Don't remember which Esper we found stop on, but
okay. Nog.
hopefully NG has it on.
Or we'll just kill it in. Oh no, I thought we were just gonna kill it in one turn.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 turns. So he's doing what, 30,000 damage or so?
Yep.
With the quick and the 2 swings. So this should probably kill it here. There we go.
Didn't even need quick, but best to keep it safe because yeah, it didn't choose to use stop, so could have been a bit problematic. But
Goddess problem, no problem for Poltergeist. Doom is down for NG Dave, so we got a 3 bosses to 1 lead here in Kefka's Tower thus far. We'll see how rude Doom decides to be this time for Papa Shango. And then we'll have the final battle.
Yep. And you did, meanwhile, gonna still have to do the mid lane and the right lane. Tentacles hopefully goes better for him than did for Shango, and same with the Goddess fight, which definitely cutting it as close as you possibly can there.
Yeah, NG Dave has higher levels, so his team will be doing more damage overall. He just has to now do enough damage and catch up here. Smart move by Papa Shango, throwing the morph on Gao. So how morph works is it fills up for every MP you earn, and it maxes at 255 MP. So he's probably maxed out at 255 here. And this fight will get him 50 MP because that's how Doom gives out MP. So he'll actually be able to use more for a decent amount of time in the final fight as well, even though he's using it now. So this is a smart move here from Papa Shango. Morph will do double damage for all outgoing attacks, and it actually halves incoming magic damage.
Yeah, so very nice, useful to have versus Doom, although would be a bit nicer probably than with Pulti and Goth, since they're the ones doing a bit more magic attacks than Doom is, but still very nice to have.
So the other interesting thing, and you saw Papa Shango go over it really quickly, is you could actually use Dispel against Doom to remove that reflect status. But with Gao still morphed, he decided to do damage instead, which I could totally understand.
Yeah, I mean you're casting. I mean, I guess you could remove the reflect to cast Ice 3 instead, but it's probably not worth wasting a turn.
Alright, well, NG Dave used Sword Tech 7 out of Terra in order to make quick work of that grabby pasta there, so much faster fight for Dave, and he's also going to want a much faster fight for Goddess here as well in order to catch up.
Yeah, it's the one nice thing about the extra levels. Shango did not have Sword Tech 7 for that fight unlocked, so had to resort to Magic and Sword Tech 6 there at the end.
That is Doom down, though, for Papa Shango, which means we have clearance to go up against Final Kefka. So, chat, we like to play a little game where we guesstimate how long our first runner into Final Kefka will be taking on the Kefka fight itself. Remember, we've got Mute, we've got Fenrir and/or Golem. I don't know if we have instant death.
We have a Raiden.
We have Raiden, so we have one form of instant death, and I'm pretty sure we have break on a couple of our characters, so that'll be good for tier 1. With all that in mind, I'm going to go with 8 minutes and 41 seconds for my time here.
I'll go 9:26. I think we're going to get some nastiness, even though we do have some nice things going on. Tier 2 can, just be tier 2. And
yeah. Mute mitigates a lot of that, but yeah, Tiger can always Tiger.
Yeah. Oh, and Dave taking out Gus. They're going to be one statue left, so they're not super far behind, but
No.
Going to be a bit difficult at this point to catch up.
Well, there's still all of the Kefka fight, which is the longest fight, right? And but the extra levels will definitely help him out with the Kefka fight, especially.
Yeah, right. And in we go. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 2, 4 is the start of our Kefka fight. Yeah, we have break here for this long arm. You could break arms, but you can't break tools. That's my little motto to remember what I can and can't do. Fortunately, break does not work the first time here. The head is weak to fire, so we're going to see a lot of fire attacks against the head. And the head also will do Quake if it's left alive last. Papa Shango reading the flag set, multi-summon is on for Espers. I forgot about that. So we're going to use Fenrir and Raiden multiple times. And Enjidave, unfortunately, gets got by Poltergeist there with the stop. Blaster.
Yeah. Never fun.
So he's going to have to take this a little slower than usual.
I guess Smog... Oh, there's no... Well, at least that's on the Gao, so... We don't care about him. Although, we might care about him very shortly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to quick and... Alright, he has the Illuminati, so he doesn't have to worry about HP. I didn't remember what he had on. That was a very quick tier 1 there from Shango.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah, multi-summon definitely makes this much easier, because you don't have to worry about saving Raiden or saving Fenrir or saving Golem or any of that fun stuff. Just use as much as you want.
Alright, so NGJ is able to stabilize this fight, finally gets the stop off for Mog, and will now go into town on Poltergeist. The thing with the Atma weapon build that Papa Shango uses is that the Atma weapons will ignore physical defense, whereas the Illumina does not. So Poltergeist is very high physical defense, and I believe they also have Shell. No, Safe.
Yeah.
One of those two. Safe, right?
Yeah, they have safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddess has shell, and then Polty has safe.
All right, here comes tier 2. Did we already kill off tools?
I would assume so. I mean, we had Raiden, so.
All right, Tiger's already dead.
Yep. Jeez.
That Mog double Atma weapon. Oh
Ooh,
no!
The model came out before the mute. That's unfortunate. Oh, but
missed. Whew. Mog is unfortunately out of MP, which is not good. Oh, we've got some ethers. Thank goodness.
Yeah. We got the golem up to go with the Fenrir we had up before.
Yeah, that'll help out with 10 hits for sure.
Yep. But yeah, with magic muted, tools, instant death, I believe, and Tiger's the biggest threat, but he went down to a few sword swings pretty quickly there. And then it just leaves hits who's generally not that hard to deal with. Although if you get quadruple quartered, can make it a bit sketchier, but I think Golem still is enough defense to tank all the physical hits. Especially with image too, like would have liked to have kept that Make Elixir we sold for the Atma weapon, but
we have tier 2, which is okay. Yeah, that Pearl proc coming in handy there for Engineered. And oh no! We have scaled into Goner, folks, for Poltergeist. This might be enough Jigglypuff for NG Dave. Oh boy.
Is the strongest spell in the game by a large margin, but it does not ignore defense. It's 220 magic power. But clearly Mog has enough defense to survive it, even with only being the only one alive. So there's double damage compared to if Gal was still alive.
Yeah. I wonder if Mog has on like a force armor or force shield or I know the Illumina gives you some magic defense too. Mm-hmm. So that's our Moogle. Mm-hmm. Dave is going to have to really step on it here because Papa Shango's on tier number 3 of 4. And given what we saw out of our quick Mog, I don't think this is going to be hanging around for too long here.
Yep, so tier 3, you want to kill the lady first. She'll revive sleep for whatever reason you kill sleep first. She's also absorbs all 8 elements, as you saw there, so 2 swings to the face gets her down because she only has 9,999 HP. Then we got sleep there. When he has, I believe, 40,000 HP, 42,000, something like that. When he gets below 10,240 HP, he will start countering all your attacks with either Train, Meteor, or Nothing. And he'll also do those as his attacks, so you don't want to stay in there in a Meteor phase for very long, as we see the quick come out, so going to avoid that. And then when he dies, he casts either 1 or 2 Calmnesses, which is an instant death attack, and that's what all the Calmness protections for. The Fenrir and the Golem will protect us. And yep, there we go. It's first, is the second. Don't care. And
nicely
we're on to
done.
tier 4.
Yeah, so this is why. Remember when I said I have this like blind spot about Quick? Yeah, this is how good Quick can be in if you utilize it correctly. Sometimes you could overuse it and it actually makes you lose time, but Papa Shango doing an extremely good job here of using Quick effectively.
Yep, and now on to the final man, Kefka himself. Similar to Sleep there, when he gets to 10,240 HP, he'll have a 33% chance of countering with Ultima, which you don't want to deal with, but
no.
Before that, he starts with Fallen One, assuming you don't deal 30,000 damage to him before he gets his first turn out, in which case he'll go straight to Goner. In which case he will, which is we saw with Poltergeist is a very strong attack. But the one upside is he won't do any of his counters when he's charging for Goner. Yep, there it is. So don't have to worry about getting ultimate or getting hyperdrived if he's not in ultimate counter range yet. So should be quick 4 swings and we're done. Yeah, 9k a swing. That's 62,000 HP gone very quickly.
And then time is on the
GG.
first flash. Papa Shango taking down the undefeated streak of NG Dave. You called it, Darkness. I jinxed it at the top of the hour. GG's to Papa Shango, our level 100 magic user. We'll see if we can get them in for an interview here. But let's see what the actual time difference is between this two. So that was a 7-minute and 43-second final Kefka. So my 8 minutes and your 9 minutes was a bit over. However, I am Dmar guessing 7 minutes and 45 seconds in the chat. I'm going to say that that's the closest guess there for sure. 2 seconds off. So nicely done. You win some internet points. Congratulations. So
yeah, while I wait for Shano to come in, we got NG Dave going through tier 2 themselves.
all the internet
all those
points.
ice. Yep. Tiger is weak to ice, so he gets down very quickly with those. Although, as we saw, Shango just killed them with stabby sticks to the face. And welcome in, Shango.
When you have lightsabers, things go your way. GG's Papa Shango. Congratulations on your victory tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the GGs. I wasn't sure how that one was going to end up.
Well, it did end with you taking home the W, defeating the undefeatable NG Dave for the month of November, so congrats on that. Was this your first time playing the flag set? And if so, what was sort of your approach here when you saw what the options were for the seed?
Yeah, it was my first time doing the flag set. My thought was I didn't need to loot that much since I started with most of the consumables I needed, plus 2 earrings and an EXP egg. I figured that would help boost me up in the good dead item rewards. Potentially good dead item rewards. I thought I'd be okay with less looting. And knowing that there'd be weaker bosses in the World of Balance, with the multi-summon, I was kind of banking on having something I could work with. But then I just hit so many dead checks. And the way this scaling works, those dead checks are really extra punishing because it increases your enemy scaling, but not your experience. And it makes it rough.
Yeah, so you got very familiar very quickly with what the dead check rewards were. You got them at the beginning of the seed. Dave got them sort of towards the middle of the seed, and it kind of went very linear for most of the seed there. Were there certain things that you were trying to do that just because of the way the seed played out, you couldn't get to do them? Or, do you think your not looting so much paid off here?
Well, I think it did pay off, and it didn't. It did because the power that I readily available was in a shop, but then it was also very expensive, and so I needed to do some extra looting, which is why I was glad to see Terra. I could hit the sealed cave and get some looting done that I hadn't done earlier to try and earn some money. Having a cat hood in there, there was a lot of money in that sealed cave, and it really helped me out. So yeah, I'd say my plan was to not loot so much. I had slot, I had earrings, I had an experience egg, I had go-go with a Super Ball. I felt like I could get through the early game easy enough, which I did until I hit all those dead checks. The lack of looting, maybe I could have gone to the Coliseum, seen what was in there, but I don't think it hurt me that much unless NG Dave found something really good.
Yeah, no, and they didn't go to Coliseum either, so no clue what was there. I guess what are your thoughts in terms of routing based on with the bosses only being in in the world they're normally in, being how that affect your routing? I guess.
Well, it did have me do Burning House first because it was really, besides Mog's checks or Kefka and Narsh, my only World of Balance check. And I know you can do the Burning House in either World of Ruin or Balance, but it's considered a balance check even if you do it in Ruin, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
Yeah, so I was like, that's my best chance to get some grind fights, like maybe Moogle defense, but I didn't really want to do a two-man Kefka and Narsh as my first check if Lone Wolf wasn't a character. And then I was a little worried about all the World of Ruin bosses I could get in my first fight if I went to, say, Ebbett's Rock. But then I was like, you know what, I started with Super Balls, I've got Go-Go, and so I decided to check Fanatics. If there's a character there, I was going to go up right away, but there wasn't. Yeah, so that was my plan, was to try and hit the World of Balance checks first, get the easy bosses out of the way, find some power, then worry about the World of Ruin bosses. All else fails, I was going to kill some dragons with the mimicked Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess how was the Magi Master fight? Because obviously, yeah, I mean, you could have mimicked Super Balls for a bit, but Umara kind of ruins that after you found them.
Yeah, I was going to break a shield, but then, Umaro got the body slam off immediately, and so I was unable to do any of that. I had a Berserk Esper, and I'm not sure if anyone knew it, now that I think about it. I know I learned it after the fight.
You got it from the fight. You got it from the fight.
So I just had to rely on Meteor. But I did have several elemental shields and a couple Minervas, so I was feeling decently safe. It just took a while having to Meteor your way through it.
Yeah, it was funny seeing NG Dave look at the Esper he got after and just be like, sit on there for like 10 seconds, like,
staring at it.
Yes. Why was this not one Esper earlier?
Yeah, it was. It's kind of a linear seed, and you're kind of forced into being in a bad spot against that Magi Master, unfortunately. Then that same kind of situation followed me into the tower when I had a weak Terra, and I had to figure out what lane she could actually handle.
Yeah, so we were wondering if you were going to scout the bosses in the tower, and the game decided that for you when when Doom said you best be frozen, right? So
yeah, once she was frozen, I was like, well, this isn't her best fight anyways, I may as well just reset. And then I'm like, I'll put her in a different lane, and if it's Poltergeist, then I just have to reset. She's got 0 chance there.
1:38:27 is the time for NG Dave. Get your GGs in the chat for them. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Papa Shango.
Yeah, no problem. GG's to NG Dave. And so thought Terra's best chance was against Goddess, but then I was also worried about whatever boss would be at the Guardian spot, which those tentacles was awfully slow too. And then luckily she had just the right amount of time to get through Goddess. That was a pretty short overcast that she got hit with. Yeah. But she was able to handle
level 50 scaling will definitely shorten those cat timers.
Yeah, I think 19 seconds is like the shortest timer that you can get in that fight, and you got the shortest timer that you can get, right? So
did. But I knew I just had to somehow muddle my way through those, basically Terra's fight, and then Strago and Gao should be all right if not slow. And then once I was into the final fight with Mog as strong as he was, I knew it would just fly from. I just had to get to the final fight, and then I would be fine.
Yeah, putting on a showcase of why Quick is such a good spell.
Oh yeah, Mog was definitely making short work of everyone with that spell, including Poltergeist.
Darkness, do you have any other questions for Papa Shango while we got them here?
No, I think we can welcome on in NG Dave. Congrats on getting through this very difficult, not fun seed.
It was an adventure. GG's Papa Shango.
Yeah, GG's NG Dave.
I think I was just too slow at the start, getting off the ground.
Yeah, so was this your first time playing these flags? And if so, what was sort of your strategy there? We're somehow
apologies.
simultaneously both dying.
Yeah.
Well, knowing that it's going to be a lot of world of balance, knowing that the bosses are split by worlds, I wanted to focus on balanced bosses first, but the character selections had other plans.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a choice.
And then, yeah, I went to do Mog's checks, saw that there was a Umaro into Gao gated behind Kaden. I'm like, well, I gotta come back for that sooner rather than later. But want to try to find the best. What was that?
Did you have any thoughts of doing it immediately, or was it just like at level 3? No way you're gonna try it.
I thought about it. I was trying to think what bosses would just hard block me there. Air Force was the first one came to mind because Slot was my only real offense. Well, it's good offense. Level 3 Slot just isn't going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, so talk about, I guess, towards the end of the seed, right, you were trying to figure out whether or not you actually had to go get Setzer, or could you scrounge up something out of nothing, and it turns out that with no Espers in the auction house, you had to go and get Setzer after all.
I was at 6-8. I'm like, okay, here are my options. My options are go get Setzer, do Elite River, which is never happening in that game state, or poke my head in the auction house. So I poked my head in the auction house. The guy said, hey, there's nothing here. Like, fine, I'll go get Setzer.
Yeah, I think going to get Setzer and then doing one of his very quick checks would probably be faster than Elite River. Although
agreed.
that Funbaba boss was kind of a slog, right?
Well, it also Baba Breath, my two best characters.
Yeah.
Maul getting tossed out of the fight was... Funbaba knew who the threat was.
Yep. So yeah, any other thoughts on the flag set in general? Did you enjoy some of the quirks and features of this particular set of options?
That was a interesting take. The split world, or boss by world split, is a flag I want to play more with. I think it does influence. I think it makes you want to do balance more rather than jumping all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it depends, because you guys also got Espers with some pretty nice spells on it very early on.
Yeah, the Ifrit with Ice 3, Mog Natural Magic Bolt 3. Yeah,
the thing is, though, you did run into, like, the World of Balance bosses early that did give MP, right? It was number 24, I think, was one of the early bosses.
I think the first boss I fought was Ifrit.
Yeah, I thought Ifrit was later on when we got...
Ifrit was Kaden.
Yeah. So relatively early, I guess.
And then the Magic Master guarding Umaru's cave was a treat. Did you see me pause in the menu when I saw the Esper Magic Master Cave Berserk? I'm like,
yes.
I was like, oh, that's a good joke.
Yeah, that is. The seed has jokes. So yeah, Papa Shango, NG Dave, thank you guys so much for volunteering to be on Restream. We can't do these races without you guys, so really appreciate you stepping up here.
Thank you for being on the show.
Any other final thoughts, guys, before we let you go?
No, just want to thank you guys for having us on here. It's always a pleasure to be able to race in front of the SpeedGaming crowd. And so, yeah, just thanks for streaming it. Thanks for doing the commentary and putting on the, organizing the event.
In front of the millions and millions watching around the world. Thank you guys as well. Thank you, Darkness, for doing commentary with me. As always, a pleasure. Very fun to not have to run seeds that I roll.
Yeah. Talking about seeds is much nicer than having to play them, especially when they're like this.
Yep. So, All right, cool. If we don't have anything else, thank you so much, SpeedGaming, for allowing us to showcase our game. As the holidays are coming along here in the U.S., we'll probably be doing some more of these on Wednesdays, so we'll see. Stay tuned, and until then, thanks everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye now.